Certified Ethical Hacker and Security Training Program subscription. CEH is globally recognized credential enabling you to work anywhere in the world. This structured professional course is designed for aspiring cyber professionals looking to quickly increase their skills and qualification. Security awareness training is a strategy used by IT and security professionals to prevent and mitigate user risk. These programs are designed to help users and employees understand the role they play in helping to combat information security breaches. Certified Ethical Hacker and Security Training Program subscription is a certificate. You will get it when you can defend an organization files, and I'm gonna walk you through it. You need to explore the best version of ethical hacking, number 1. Number 2, unleash the power of Kali Linux. Number 3, design a cybersecurity framework. Number 4, best techniques of penetration testing. You can download all 4 books in the description below. So number 1, explore the best version of ethical hacking. What is ethical hacking? Ethical hacking is an authorized practice of detecting vulnerability in an application system or organization infrastructure and bypassing system security to identify potential data breaches and threats in a network. Ethical hackers aim to investigate the system or network for weak points that malicious hackers can exploit or destroy. They can improve the security footprint to withstand attack better or divert them. The company that owns the system or network allows cybersecurity engineers to perform such activities in order to test the system defenses. Thus, unlike malicious hacking, this process is planned, approved, and more importantly, legal. Ethical hackers aim to investigate the system or network for weak points that malicious hackers can exploit or destroy. They collect and analyze the information to figure out ways to strengthen the security of the system, network, application. By doing so, they can improve the security footprint so that it can better withstand attack or divert them. Ethical hackers are hired by organizations to look into the vulnerability of their system and networks and develop solutions to prevent data breaches. Consider it high-tech promotion of the old saying, it takes a thief to catch a thief. They check for the key vulnerability includes but are not limited to injection attacks, number 1. Number 2, changes in security settings. Number 3, exposure of sensitive data. Number 4, breach in authentication protocols. Number 5, component used in their system or network that may be used as access point. Now, as you have an idea of what ethical hacking is, explore the best version of ethical hacking. It has 20 modules. Module 1, Introduction to Ethical Hacking. Lesson 1, Information Security Overview. Information security protects sensitive information from authorizing activities, including inspection, modification, recording, and any disruption or destruction. The goal is to ensure the safety and privacy of critical data such as customer account details, financial data, or intellectual properties. Lesson 2, Information Security Threats and Attack Vectors. Threats in computer security. A threat is a potential negative action or event facilitated by a vulnerability that results in an awareness impact to a computer system or application. And some of the attack vectors are phishing, ransomware, malware, denial of server attack, encryption, insider threat, man-in-the-middle attack, brute force attack, SQL injection, Trojan horse. Cybercrime, zero-day, data breach, spear phishing, computer virus, spoofing attack, session hijacks. Lesson 3, Hacking Concept. Hacking is the ability to gain entry into system. Hackers can be black hat hackers who use their talent for criminal or malicious activity. Grey hat hackers tend to be more to be more than malicious and push the envelope to see it if they can gain access into a system. Lesson 4. Ethical hacking concept. Definition. Ethical hacking involves an authorized attempt to gain authorized access to a computer system, application, or data. Carrying out an ethical hack involves duplicating strategy and action of malicious attackers. Lesson 5. Information security controls. Security controls are safeguards or countermeasures to avoid, detect, counterattack, or minimize security risk to physical property, information, computer system, or other assets in the field of information security. Such a control protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information, such as you see in this picture. Information security policy. Number 1 is information security standards, information security control requirement, and the CHOP. So lesson 6. Penetration testing concept. A penetration testing test is an authorized simulated attack performed on a computer system to evaluate its security. Penetration test use the same tools, techniques, and process as attackers to find and demonstrate the business impact of weakness in a system. Lesson 7. Information security laws and standards. Information security laws is the body of legal rules, codes, and standards that require you to protect that information and the information system that processing it from authorized access. The legal risks are potentially significant if you don't take a pragmatic approach. So let's move on to a more mature tool. Mature 2. Footprinting and recognizing. Lesson 1. Footprinting concept. Footprinting is an ethical hacking technique used to gather as much data as possible about specific targeted computer system and infrastructure and network to identify opportunities to penetrate them. It's one of the best methods of finding vulnerabilities. Lesson 2. Footprinting to search engines. Google hacking. Google hacking refers to collecting information using Google Docs keywords by constructing search queries which result in finding sensitive information. Lesson 3. Footprinting through web surface. Web surface footprinting is a technique in which information about the target is collected by monitoring the target website. Hackers can map the entire website of the target without being noticed. Website footprinting gives information about software operating system. Lesson 4. Footprinting through social network sites. An active digital footprint is where the user has deliberately shared information about themselves, for example, through posting participating on social network sites or online forums. Lesson 5. Website footprinting. Footprinting is basically the first step where hacker gathers as much information as possible to find ways to introduce into a target system or at least decide. Lesson 6. Email footprinting. Email footprinting is a method a hacker can trace an email and get information from it. Email footprinting gives us information regarding the sender's email name, location, IP address, etc. Lesson 7. Competitive intelligence. Competitive intelligence is a process and forward-looking practice used in producing knowledge about the competitive environment to improve organization performance. It involves the system collect and analyze of information from multiple sources and a coordinated CI program. As you see in this picture, competitive intelligence, it begins with define objectives. Number 2, identity competitors. Number 3, competitive factors. Number 4, gather intelligence. Number 5, structured data. Number 6, identity patterns. Number 7, rank competition. Number 8, SWOT analysis. Number 9, document results. So lesson 8, who is footprinting? Who is footprinting is an ethical hacking practice that collects data about targeted and their condition. This is the pre-attack phases and activities performed will be stealth and best efforts will be made to prevent the target from tracking you. Lesson 9, DNS footprinting. It's the gathering of information found on DNS servers. Lesson 10. Network footprinting is the process of identifying and understanding the security risk present in an organization. Lesson 11. Footprinting through social engineering. Footprinting is a much less stealthy method than social engineering, but it always has the advantage of having a low profile and a low chance of being caught. Footprinting is useful in cases where an attacker does not have any special access in the target building and wants to get into it. Here is some picture. Footprinting through social engineering. When you see the picture, pause the video and then look at it and then resume the video. Lesson 12. Footprinting tools. Who is an SL lookup? Some spade footprinting tools. Number 1, who is. Number 1 tool, who is. Number 2, NSS lookup. Number 3, SAM spread. Number 4, super scan. Number 5, nmap. Number 6, top view. Number 7, my IP suite. Number 8, DNS enumerator. Number 9, spider foot. Number 10, Nessus. Number 11, zone transfer. Number 12, port scan. Number 13, header grabber, HTTP header grabber. Number 14, honey bot detector. Lesson 13, countermeasures. An action taken to counteract a danger or threat. Lesson 14, footprinting pen testing. In short, footprinting refers to the process of collecting data over time in order to make a targeted. Cyber attack, Geekis for Geekis 2012. Footprinting involves gathering information about the target typically related to its network infrastructure system and users without actually committing an attack. So we have done 2 modules. Module 3, scanning networks. Lesson 1, network scanning concept. The purpose of network scanning is to manage, maintain, and secure the system using data found by the scanner network. Network scanning is used to recognize available network surface, discover and recognize any filtering system in place, look at what operating systems are in use, and to protect the network from attacks. Lesson 2, scanning tools. So there are some of scanning tools. It's called number 1, Agnetics. Number 2, Be Secure. Number 3, Burp Suite. Number 4, GFI Languard. Number 5, Font Line. Number 6, Nessus. Number 7, Nextbox. So lesson 3, scanning techniques. Scanning is another essential step which is necessary, and it refers to the package of technique and procedure used to identify host, port, and fair use surface within a network. Network scanning is one of the components of intelligence gathering and information retrieving mechanism an attacker used to create an overview scenario of the target. Organization means the group of people or organization which falls into prey of the hacker. Vulnerability scanning is performed by pen testers to detect the possibility of network security attacks. These techniques let hackers to identify vulnerabilities such as missing batches, unnecessary surfaces, weak authentication, or weak encryption algorithm. So pen tester and ethical hackers list down all such vulnerabilities found in an organization network. Scanning is of 3 types: network scanning, port scanning, vulnerability scanning. Lesson 4, scanning beyond IDS and firewall. This is a process in which the attacker uses a chain of proxy servers to hide the actual source of a scan and evade certain IDS firewall restriction. Packet fragmented refers to the splitting of a probe packet into several small packets, fragments while sending it to a network. Lesson 5, banner grabbing. Banner grabbing is a technique used to gain information about a computer system on a network and the surface running on its open board. Administrators can use this to take inventory of the system and surface of the network. Lesson 6, draw network diagram. So the network diagram, as you see, there are a lot of computers 4 computers connected together with a server, and the server is connected to a cloud, and the other computers is connected together, and one computer is connected together, and one computer is one, so they are connected to a cloud. If you see it carefully, you will understand. So let's move on. Lesson 7. Scanning pen testing. Scanning pen tester use tools to examine the target website or a system for weaknesses, including open surface application security issues and open source vulnerability. Pen testers use a variety of tools based on what they found during recognition and during the test. So Module 4. Enumeration. Lesson 1. Enumeration concept. Enumeration is an extracting a system file usernames, machine names, shell names, directory names, and other information. Is a key component of ethical hacking and penetration testing, as it can provide attackers with a wealth and information that can be used to exploit vulnerability. Lesson 2. NetBIOS. Enumeration. NetBIOS enumeration. NetBIOS is a protocol that allows devices on the network to share resources and communicate with each other. NetBIOS enumeration is a querying a device to identify what NetBIOS resources are available. This can be done using tools like MBT Stat and NetView. Lesson 3. SNMP enumeration. SNMP enumeration is a querying a device to identify what SNMP resources are available. This can be done using tools like SNMP check and SNMP work. LDAP enumeration. LDAP is a protocol that allows devices on the network to share information about users and resources. Lesson 4. LDAP enumeration. This can be done using tools like SNMP check and SNMP work. LDAP enumeration. LDAP is a protocol that allows devices on the network to share information about users and resources. LDAP enumeration is a querying a device to identify what LDAP resources are available. This can be done using tools like IDAP search and IDAP NUM. Lesson 5. NTP enumeration. NTP enumeration is a protocol that allows devices on the network to synchronize their clock with each other. NTP enumeration is querying a device to identify what NTP resources are available. This can be done using tools like Nmap and BRTG network monitor. CrashTestSecurity.com 2012. You can search for it. Lesson 6. SMTP enumeration and DNS enumeration. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, is a set of communication guidelines that allow web applications to perform communication tasks of an internet, including emails. DNS enumeration is the process of locating all the DNS servers and their corresponding records for an organization. DNS enumeration will yield usernames, computer names, and IP addresses of potential target systems. Lesson 7. Enumeration countermeasures. Main countermeasure to enumeration in cybersecurity. Use additional restriction for anonymous connection. It's a group policy security feature. Restrict the access to null session shares, null session pipes, and IPsec filtering. Turn the SNMP surface off or remove the SNMP agent. Lesson 8. Other enumeration techniques. Techniques for enumeration. Extracting username using email IDs. Extract information using default password. Brute force activity directory. Extract usernames using SNMP. Extract user groups from Windows. Extract information using DNS zone transfer. Lesson 9. Enumeration pen testing. Enumeration is the method that a penetration tester uses to identify information about in-scope assets. A pen testers will use an automated process to identify all active IP addresses within the scope and some limited information about those devices, such as type and operating system versions. Module 5. Vulnerability analysis. Lesson 1. Vulnerability assessment concept. A vulnerability assessment is a testing process used to identify and assign surface levels to as many security defects as possible in a given time frame. This process may involve automated and manual techniques with varying degrees of rigor and emphasis a comprehensive coverage. Lesson 2: Vulnerability Assessment Solution. Vulnerability scans on a regulation basis. IT security starts by facing threats and vulnerability. To assist you in this process, we provide vulnerability assessment solution in the form of virtual appliances. It scans an unlimited number of IBS as often as you like and identifies the vulnerabilities and configuration issues that hackers use to penetrate your network. So if you see this picture, you will get it. Lesson 3: Vulnerability Scoring System. The common vulnerability scoring system is a free, open industry standard for accessing the security of computer system. Security vulnerability (CVSS) attempt to assign security across the vulnerability, allowing responders to prioritize responses and resources according to threat. Lesson 4: Vulnerability Assessment Tools. The tools are OpenVAS, Dripper, Nessus, Burpsuit, Necto, and MapQULYS. Module 6: System Hacking. Lesson 1: System Hacking Concept. System hacking refers to use technical skills and knowledge to gain access to a computer system or network. Hackers employ many methods to get into a system by exploiting its vulnerability and concealing their activities to avoid detection. Lesson 2: Cracking passwords. In encryption and computer security, password cracking is the process of recovering passwords from data that has been stored and transmitted by a computer system in scrambled form, like a cache. Lesson 3: Escalating privileges. A privilege escalating attack is a cyber attack designed to gain authorized privilege access into a system. Attackers exploit human behaviors, designs, flaws, or oversights in operating system or web applications. Lesson 4: Executing application. Record each stroke. Executing applications. Record each stroke. Capture a screenshot at regular intervals of time showing user activity, such as when he or she types a character on click a mouse button. Track the activities of users, login, Windows titles, name of launched application, and other information. Lesson 5: Hiding files. A hidden file is a file which has the hidden attribute turned on so that it's not visible to use when exploring or listening files. Hidden files are used for storage of user preference or for presentation of state of utilities. Lesson 6: Covering tracks. Conceal one's whereabouts, activities, and interpretations of evidence of one enforcement. For example, no one knows much about where he's been. He is very good at conveying his tricks. This term transfer, hiding one footprint to more general activities. Lesson 7: Penetration testing. A penetration pen test is an authorized simulated attack performed on a computer system to evaluate its security. Penetration testers use the same tools, techniques, and processes as attackers to find and demonstrate the business impact of weakness in the system. Module 7: Malware Threats. Malware Concept. Lesson 1: As a software designed to interfere with a computer, normal functioning malware is a blanket term to viruses, trojans, and other destructive computer programs, threats actors used to infect systems and networks in order to gain access to sensitive information. Lesson 2: Trojan Concept. A Trojan horse or Trojan is a type of malicious code or software that looks legitimate but can take control of your computer. A Trojan is designed to damage, disturb, steal, or in general inflict some other harmful actions on your data or network. Lesson 3. Virus or worm concepts. A worm is a form of malware that replicates itself and can spread to different computers via network. A virus is a malicious executable code attached to another executable file, which can be harmless or can modify or delete data. Lesson 4. Malware analysis. Malware analysis definition. Malware analysis is the study of the unique features, objective source, and potential effects of harmful software and code, such as spyware, viruses, malfesting, and ransomware. It analyzes malware code to understand how it varies from other kind. Lesson 5. Countermeasures. Action taken to counterattack a danger or threat. Lesson 6. Anti-malware software. Anti-malware software immediately separates malicious software from legitimate application to prevent damage on the computer. Lesson 7. Malware penetration testing. Penetration testing or pen testing is the practice of running controlled attacks on a computer system, network, software, or other application in an attempt to find and patch vulnerability or flaws. Module 6. Sniffing. Module 8. Sniffing. Lesson 1. Sniffing concept. What is sniffing? In its simplest form, sniffing is the act of intercepting and monitoring traffic on a network. This can be done using software that captures all data packets passing through a given network interface, or by using hardware devices explicitly designed for this purpose. Lesson 2. Sniffing techniques. MAC attacks. Sniffing attack refers to a data theft is caused by capturing network traffic through packet sniffers that can unlawfully access and read the data which is not encrypted. The data packets are captured when they flow through a computer network. Lesson 3. Sniffing techniques. DHCP attack. Sniffing techniques. ARP poisoning. An ARP poisoning spoofing, also known as ARP poisoning, is a man-in-the-middle MITM attack that allows attackers to intercept communication between network devices. Lesson 5. Sniffing techniques. Spoofing attacks. Spoofing is when attackers create TCP/IP using another person's IP address. A sniffer software is placed between two interactive endpoints in packet sniffing, where the attacker pretends to be one end of the connection to the target and snoops on the data sent between the 2 points. Lesson 6. Sniffing techniques. DNS poisoning. Domain name servers. DNS spoofing, aka DNS cache poisoning, is an attack in which altered DNS records are used to redirect content traffic to fraudulent website that resembles an intended destination. Lesson 7. Sniffing tools. Sniffing tools. Some of them are AUVIK. Number 2. SolarWinds Network Packet Sniffer. Number 3. Wireshark. Number 4. BASSLE BRTG. Number 6. Manage Engine Net Flow Analyzer. Number 7. TCP-DOM. Number 8. WinDOM. Number 9. Network Miner. Number 9 BitterCap. Number 10. EtherCap. Number 11. OmniBeak. You will see BSNF. You will read it. I will give you in a comment below. I will give you in the description. Lesson 9. Sniffing detection techniques is a method of monitoring network traffic in order to acquire sensitive information. Lesson 10. Sniffing pen testing. Sniffing pen test is used to check if the data transmitted from an organization is secure from sniffing and intercept attacks. Sniffing pen tests help administrators to audit the network traffic from malicious content. Module 9. Social engineering. Lesson 1. Social engineering concept. Social engineering is the term used for a broad range of malicious activities accomplished through human interactions. It uses psychological manipulation to trick users into making security mistakes or giving away sensitive information. Lesson 2. Social engineering techniques. There are two techniques. Baiting attack. Use a false promise to route a victim, create a curiosity. Social engineering use bait to lure users into a trap that steals their personal information or infects their system with a malware. Pretexting. An attacker uses a made-up scenario, a pretext, to provoke an employee to disclose sensitive information for example, login details to IT system or personal information about other employees. Lesson 3. Insider threats. An insider threat is a perceived threat to an organization that comes from people within organizations such as employees, former employees, contractors, or business associates who has inside information concerning the organization's security practice, data, and computer system. Lesson 4. Impression on social network sites. Impression in social network refers to account that use the name, image, or other identifying element of a person, company, or organization for fraudulent purpose. Generally speaking, it is the act when a person pretends to be someone else on social media platforms. Lesson 5. Identify theft. The fraudulent practice of using another person's name and personal information in order to obtain credit, loans, etc. Lesson 7. Social engineering penetration testing. Social engineering penetration testing is a practice of attempting typical social engineering scams on a company employees to ascertain the organization level of vulnerability to that type of exploit. Module 10. Denial of service. Lesson 1. Denial of DDoS attack concepts. DOS and DDoS attack concept. A denial of service DOS attack floors a service with a traffic, making a website or a resource unavailable. A distributed denial of service DDoS attack is a DOS attack that uses multiple computers or machines to flood a targeted resource. Lesson 3. Botnets. A botnet is a group of internet-connected devices, each which run one or more bots. Botnets can be used to perform distributed denial of service attacks, steal data, and send spam, and allows the attacker to access the device and its connection. The owner can control the botnet using command and control software. Lesson 5. DOS and DDoS attack tools. Common DDoS attack tools include tools for IP address spoofing, ping of death, ICMP, UDP flood, and DNS flood attack, amplification attacks, TCP/SYN flood, HTTP flood, reflection attacks, phonometric attack, and connection-based attack. Lesson 7. DOS and DDoS protection tools. Interface App Trana Editor's Choice, a web application firewall that includes vulnerability scanning, DDoS protecting, and bot control detection. The Edge Surface Bundle also includes a contact delivery network. Start a 14-day trial. Maybe they're gonna make it free after some time. Lesson 8. DOS and DDoS attack penetration testing. A denial of service DOS attack is an attack that stops an authorized user from accessing the resource, either a server or a web or a network storage. A distributed denial of service DDoS attack utilizes numerous network resources or the origin of the practice adversarial factors. Module 11. Session hijacking. Lesson 1. Session hijacking concept. Session hijacking involves an attacker using captured brute force or reverse engineering session IDs to seize control of a legitimate user web application section while that section is still in progress. Lesson 2. Application level section hijacking. Application level hijacking. One connection between the client and attackers and another one between attacker and server. Since the attacker becomes the man in the middle, all the traffic goes through him, hence he can capture the section ID. Lesson 3. Network level section hijacking. The section hijacking attack compromises the section token by stealing or predicting a file section token to gain authorized access to the web server. Lesson 4. Section hijacking tools. One of them are file sheet tool. Module 12. Evading IDS firewall and honeypots. Lesson 1. IDS firewall and honeypot concept. IDS firewall and honeypot concept. Intrusion detection system. Inspect inbound and outbound traffic for suspicious activity. Checks traffic for signature and patterns and all alarms when match is found. IDs can be placed outside or inside a firewall. Before displaying an IDS, it is important to understand how information flows through the network. Signature recognition tries to identify events that are the misuses of network resources. Anomaly detection detects instructions based on fixed behavior of the users or component in the system. Protocol anomaly detection explores anomalies in the way vendors deploy the TCP/IP specification. Lesson 3. Evading IDS intrusion detection system. Evasion techniques are modifications made to attack in order to prevent detection by intrusion detection system IDS. Almost all published evasion techniques modify network attacks. Lesson 4. Evading firewall. In network security, evasion is bypassing an information security defense in order to deliver an exploit attack or other form of malware to target network or system without detection. Lesson 5. IDS firewall evading tools. Enable security professionals to audit and validate the behavior of security devices by generating the standard application traffic or attack traffic between the two virtual machines. Cross-soft bucket builder. Network bucket crafter. Used to build all types of custom networks. Lesson 6. Detecting honeypot. A honeypot is a network attachment system set up as a decoy to lure cyber attackers and detect, deflect, and study hacking attempts to gain authorized access to information system. Module 13. Hacking web servers. Lesson 1. Web server concept. A web server is a software and hardware that uses HTTP hypertext transfer protocol and other protocol to respond to client requests made over the World Wide Web. The main job of a web server is to display website content through storing, processing, and delivering web pages to users. Lesson 2. Web server attacks. Web server attacks. Any attempt by a malicious actor to undermine the security of a web-based application is referred to as a web application attack or a web server attack. Lesson 3. Web server attack methodology. An internet server attack typically involves pre-planning activities called an attack methodology that attackers follow to succeed in the goal of breaching the target web server securely. Attackers hack an internet server in multiple stages. Lesson 4. Web server attack tools Metasploit. Number 6. Patch management. The system notification, identification, deployment, installation, and verification of operating system and application software core efficient. Lesson 7. Web server security tools. Necto software. Lesson 8. Web server pen testing. Web application penetration testing is the practice of simulating attacks on a system in an attempt to gain access to sensitive data with the purpose of determining whether the system is secure. Module 14. Hacking web applications. Lesson 1. Web application concepts. A web application developer is a professional of creating a web application. A client-server application or web app is the app that main part of which is contained on a remote server, and the user interface UI is displayed in the browser as a web page. Lesson 2. Web app treaties. Cross-site scripting, SQL injection, cryptography. Lesson 3. Hacking methodology. The five phases of ethical hacking. Reconnaissance, also known as probatory phases, is where the hacker gathers information about target before launching an attack, and is completed in phase prior to exploit system vulnerability. I'm sorry, I can't never mind. Scanning, gaining access, maintain access, cover tracks. Lesson 4. Web application hacking tools. It's Kali Linux, Angry IP Scanner, Chainable, Ethercap. Lesson 6. Web app security testing tools. Barb Suite, SQL map. Module 15. SQL injection. Lesson 1. SQL injection concept. SQL injection. SQL is a cyber attack that injects malicious SQL code into an application, allowing the attacker to view or modify a database according to the Open Web Application Security Project. Inject attacks which include SQL injections were the third most serious web application security risk in 2021. Lesson 2. Types of SQL injection. SQL injection typically fall under 3 categories: in-band SQLi Classic, Inferential SQLi Plan, and out-of-band SQLi. You can classify SQL injections types based on the methods they use to access backend data and their damage potential. Lesson 3. SQL injection methodology. SQL injection, also known as SQLi, is a common attack vector that uses malicious SQL code for backend database manipulation to access information that was not intended to be displayed. This information may include any number of items, including sensitive company data, user list, or private customer details. Lesson 4. SQL injection tools. SQL map. SQL map is open source SQL injection tools, and most popular among all SQL injection tools available are SQL Ninja, Safe3 SQL Injector, SQL SAS, more. Lesson 5. Evasion techniques. An advanced evasion techniques is a cyber attack that enabled the hacker to access a network without authorization and detection. It combines various evasion methods to hide from any threat detection tool that comes in contact with it. Module 16. Hacking wireless network. Lesson 1. Wireless concept. Using radio microwaves. Wireless uses radio microwaves. Lesson 2. Wireless encryption. Wireless encryption secures your wireless network with an authorized protocol. It requires a password or network key when user or device tries to connect. Lesson 3. Wireless threats. Wireless threats is a cybersecurity threat that comes in different shapes that we usually have no idea about. So wireless users face such danger mostly by attacking wireless access points to their wired network. There are several ways in which your wireless connection can be attacked. Lesson 5. Wireless hacking tools. Kali Linux, one of them is Kali Linux. Lesson 6. Bluetooth hacking. Bluetooth technology uses radio waves to connect two or multiple devices wirelessly, and it allows for the transferring and sharing of data using Bluetooth. You can connect your headphones to your phone without using cable. For instance, it also allows you to transfer files between smart devices, monitor your vitals or via fitness trackers, and even unlock your front door with your phone. Many people use Bluetooth every day because it's convenient, but it is completely safe and secure. As with any wireless technology, Bluetooth is not entirely safe from hacking. In this article, we will discuss warning signs of hacking, different types of hacks to know about, and safety tips to keep in mind when using Bluetooth. Lesson 8. Wireless security tools. One of them is Wi-Spy and Air Magnet. The second one is Air Magnet. Module 17. Hacking mobile platforms. Lesson 1. Mobile platforms attacks factors. By definition, an attacker factor is method or technique that hackers use to gain access to another computer device or network in order to inject a bad code, often called payload. These factors help hackers to exploit system vulnerabilities. Lesson 2. Hacking Android devices. Android hacking resources. There are hundreds of resources on the internet for people who want to get involved in Android hacking. For communities to list of tools and guidebooks. Here are a few places to get started. Farcore community. Chat with security expert hackers and develop about all things application development, including security and modifications. Android exploits. This is an open source guide on Android exploits and hacks from GitHub users with links to additional resources and tools. Android hacking tools. In addition to annual calling, there are many applications built around hacking Android systems. These range from apps targeted at anyone who want to extend their Android devices' battery lives or customize other parts of its operating system to deep system hack used by more sophisticated hackers and attackers. Here are a few of the most popular. APK tool. This tool is used for reverse engineering third-party closed binary Android application. DEX Toolchar. This widely available tool works with Android, DEX, and Java class files, enabling the conversion of one binary format to another. GDGUI. This graphic utility tool that stands alone and displays Java source from class files. How to secure your Android device from attackers. Although most of people who use these hacking applications have no ill intent, they can also be used by attackers to find and exploit security flaws found in Android software. Developers and organizations can use a secure software development lifecycle to minimize their risk to exposure to exploits that could see their customers' private information leaked or their financial assets stolen or treated. The three biggest threats to Android devices. Threat 1. Data in transit. Mobile devices, including those running Android as an operating system, are susceptible to man-in-the-middle attack and various exploits that has into unsecured communication of public Wi-Fi networks and other wireless communication systems. By hacking users' signal, attackers can impersonate legitimate web services, steal data, or intercept calls and text messages. 3. Untrustworthy app stores. Untrustworthy app stores can cause hitches due to lack of security protocols. Ensure that your app store of choice for your Android application takes adequate security precaution and has a strong security review program in place. Sideloading, in which you install apps without an app store, is also a process to manage carefully due to a lack of foundational security measures. 3. SMS Trojans. Malicious apps can sometimes include SMS Trojans, which come in the form of compromised application. This type of app accesses a mobile device's calling or text message capabilities, allowing them to do things like send text messages with malicious links to everyone in user's address book. These links can then be used by attackers to distribute computer worms and other malicious messages to fee-based services, including fees on behalf of the user of profiting scammers. 3 ways to protect your Android devices. Use TLS encryption. OWASP shows that insufficient encryption is a big problem for many types of applications. By using transport layer security TLS, you can encrypt internet traffic of all types for securely generating and exchanging session keys. This protects data against most man-in-the-middle attack and network spying attacks. Test third-party app security. The best way to avoid malicious apps is to only use apps from the official Google Play Store. Google Play uses significantly better security checks than third-party sites, some of which may contain hundreds of thousands of malicious apps. If you absolutely need to download an app from a third-party store, check its permission before installing and be one of the lookout for apps which that for your identity or the ability to send messages to your contact when they don't need to. Use caution when using SMS. Payments. Set your Android phone to limit the ability of apps to automatically spend your money. Apps that can ask payment via SMS are a red flag and should be avoided if at all possible. Lesson 3. Hacking iOS. Types of iOS. Jailbreaking. Jailbreaking might put the device at risk. It's done to gain administrative privileges and to download third-party application extensions etc. through the device might lose its warranty, get infected with malware, drop or performance etc. There are 3 ways jailbreaking can be done. T-Thread. After a device is jailbreaking, it will no longer have a patched kernel. It might go to a bad functioning state and requires refactoring state and requires jailbreaking using the same computer. Semi-tethered. When the device is turning off and on, it will no longer be jailbreaking. This device can be used for normal functioning. Untethered. The device once jailbreaking remains jailbreaking and the kernel will be patched completely after reboot. Countermeasures. Do not jailbreak the device. Apply strong encryption. Always connect to safe networks. Follow common security guidelines. Do not open links attachments from unknown sources. Lesson 4. Mobile spyware. What's mobile spyware? Mobile spyware is a software or an app that can be installed onto a smartphone that will allow someone else to remotely monitor activities on the phone. Note: mobile spyware is slightly different from computer spyware. Lesson 5. Mobile device management. Mobile device management is the administration of devices such as smartphones, tablets, computers, and laptops. MDM is usually implemented with the use of third-party product that has managed features for particular vendors of mobile device. Module 18. IoT hacking. Lesson 1. IoT concept. What is IoT? The Internet of Things. IoT describes the network of physical objects, things, things that are embedded with sensors, softwares, and other technologies for other purposes of connecting and exchanging data with other devices and systems over the Internet. Lesson 2. IoT attack. An IoT attack is a malicious attempt to exploit vulnerability in an Internet-connected device such as a smart home device, industrial control system, and medical devices. Attackers may gain control of the device's sensitive data or use the device as a part of botnet for other malicious purposes. Lesson 4. IoT hacking. IoT hacking tools. Network mapper. Number 1. Network mapper, usually referred to as Nmap, is a free scanning program. Metasploit, obtaining proper information about the software. Security is crucial before hacking. And there is Fiddler, Maltego, Wireshark, Pinwalk, Framework, Ghost Touch. Module 19. Cloud Computing. Lesson 1. Cloud computing concept. What is cloud computing? Simply put, cloud computing means storing and accessing data over the Internet instead of a hard disk. It is defined as a service that provides users to work over the Internet. Users can access data on the cloud and must provide user ID and password to gain Internet for security reasons. Lesson 2. Cloud computing treatise. Data loss. Is data loss. Lesson 3. Cloud computing attacks. Denial of server attacks. Cloud computing attacks. Denial of server attacks. Surface attacks. Lesson 4. Cloud security. Cloud security is a collection of procedures and techniques designed to address external and internal threats to business security. Lesson 5. Cloud security tools. Amazon Web Services. Module 20. Cryptography. Cryptography concept. Cryptography techniques are used to encrypt, scramble messages before the messages are stored or transmitted. Data encryption transforms plain text into cybertext. The data to be encrypted can be ASCII text, a database file, or any other data. Lesson 2. Encryption algorithm. An encryption algorithm is a method used to transfer data into cybertext. An algorithm will use the encryption key in order to alter the data in a predictable way so that even though the encrypted data will appear random, it can be turned back into plain text by using the encryption key. Lesson 3. Cryptography tools. OpenSSL. Lesson 4. Public Key Infrastructure. PKI. A public key infrastructure is a set of rules, policies, and hardware, software, and procedures needed to create, manage, distribute, use, store, and revoke digital certificate and manage public key encryption. Lesson 5. Email encryption. You will search it. Number 6. Disk description. You will search it. Number 7. Cryptanalysis. The art or process of deciphering coded messages without being told the key.